So we're working on this on stage plot at the moment. Got from left to right. So stage left will be bass player, drummer on the right, guitar player, and then vocalist up front. So far I don't know how well you can see this, but it's not finished yet, by the way, but I'm getting there. So I got bass amp right here, foot switch ahead of that. The reason I have it here is because in between songs, if it's a situation where you're going back and forth from the front to the back of the stage, hit the foot switch, change channels, and do whatever else. Wireless in-ears, I'll show you that one now in a minute. Well, I've got that. In-ear rack, effect rack, I'll show you that in a minute as well. Wireless in-ears for drummer, because drummers use in-ears, because why not? Monitor here, wedge monitor by the drum platform. Pit snake, which would be semi-under, just in front of the drum platform. Guitar amp over here, two guitars, two Les Pauls, because that's all I've got available to me right now. Guitar pedals and multi-effects, two more monitors. Guitar player not running in-ears, but in a situation like this, many others would be, so yeah. What I have to finish out now is the rest of the monitors here up front. I'm gonna do going off shit I've seen in the past. You've got most singers who have got a fucking array of monitors in front of them, as I'm doing right now. So increase that and that. Guitar player with wedges because guitar player is not on in-ears, but others are. So in-ears, where are you? There you are. So singer on wireless in-ears, most of them are, most would be. Then I'll put one last monitor here by the front. Sorry, wrong way. There by the bass player's microphone. Yeah, some bass players use in-ears and some don't. It's it's a lot of it's down to personal preference. I know some who use in-ears and some who don't, and I know guitar players who do and who don't. It's pretty much all singers will use them though, and drummers, so they can hear exactly what they need to with but with guitar players and bass players, it's all kind of it's personal taste and it's all down to different tastes and shit. So yeah, that's all that. The patch here just off the stage, you can see on like festivals or theaters or whatever. So it's always out of view. Gorless official. Ahoy. Hello, my friend. How you doing? So the wireless rack over here. So Noah. Hello, Noah. How you doing? Wireless rack here in the back. Always have your wireless rack being handled by someone who's on in-ears. Don't leave it to someone who isn't, because chances are they're just gonna fuck it up. So you don't want to do that. So for this example, it'll be bass player going going back and forth or whatever between sets, whatever. If something is, I don't know, changing channels or doing switches or whatever. If you've got switchers, or like splitters, if you got like wireless amp splitters in the rack, or what else? I've got some just got some combo amps on this one. Wireless mic for the singer, wired for the bass player because bass player ain't running around on stage with a microphone. And yeah, so Also, if you're running, say, a wireless, like a wireless unit for one of your guitars through this. So, for example, I'm gonna pull up some. I'll use these as an example. If I can get it onto the thing, come on. There we go. So use this as an example. So got an Ibanez 4 and a Stingray 5. So say bass players when you go to running a foot switch thing here, so changing channels, preset channels or whatever on obviously through, on your bass. So running wireless. So, if you've got a very minimal setup, running wireless is probably the best option you can take. So whereas, guitar players, some will go wireless, some won't, some will stick with cables. Some musicians prefer to feel like cables and some don't. So again, that's all down to personal taste. But yeah, this is the life of a stage tech and working in the live field. So learning the tools of the trade. And the software I'm using is called Rider Maker, by the way. Fucking great piece of software if you're working on events or doing anything like that. Or if you want to learn about stuff like this, and if you want to teach yourself about stuff like this, or you're learning stuff in school or in college or whatever, as I'm doing, this is a great piece of software to use to do stuff like this. I've used it before, recently actually for an event we've got coming up. So, yeah. What's wrong with your voice? I got a very deep voice, mate. Just got a deep voice. So. Kind of wish they had bigger plots though to make like more, to do a lot more in one plot rather than just doing smaller setups. On one like smaller plot, you can just do the on stage. Obviously, I've got the patch there just off stage, but yeah, still pretty good though. There's loads of other stuff you could add in as well. You got keyboards and the like. Um, you can throw in some DJ stuff there as well if you wanted to. You got the audio, you got patches, you got monitors and DIs, and you've also got some DJ equipment, and you got some mixers, some mixing boards. So you can do all kinds of stuff on software like this. So yeah. Strings, got some orchestra stuff going on. Again, keyboards. Got people as well, which I think that's kind of cool. But you got drums and percussion. You got drum pads, separate drum compartments, stuff like that. So various percussion items and guitars. You got Strat, Les Paul, Tele, SG, and basses and all that down the line. So yeah, there it is. I'll try it. Let's get you can see it better. Yeah, so this is my life. I studied music tech in college, so that's why I'm doing stuff like this, is to teach myself better than what I did in the past when I used to work on gigs like this back in the day. So yeah, the joys. No, 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 it's great. If you like it, it's great. Um, And it's great to be able to actually work with stuff like this, and and be able to work in the like work in the field too. Like I work in a theater space, doing stuff like this. Setting up smaller PAs on stage and running all that. Working with lighting and working with a proper front of house PA on stage setups like this. Ran stage setups like this, fairly similar to this. I did that for about 2 years, from about 2022, for pretty much all of 2022, and most of a little bit of 2024 as well. So yeah. This is more based around kind of an outdoor kind of festival kind of a setting. Uh, Stuff you'd see on festival events. Curtains on the sides of the stage mainly, or well up by the front sides on the front end of the stage, and then obviously exit ways on both sides. Some stages have exit ways behind as well for drummers, because some stages they're set up in ways where there's like little compartments that go up, but they're built in right behind the drum platform, and you often see drummers kind of like appearing through those little like entrance ways in the back curtains behind the drum platforms. Um, but most others are like appearing from everyone else, usually appearing from either side of the stage. So that's whether that's like theater settings or outdoor festival settings or whatever else it may be. And then I'd always build like that, by the way, with the entrances in behind the curtains. They're not all built like that. A lot of them will again come out from either side of the stage along with everybody else. And obviously you've got scenarios where you've got like elevators onto the stage that bring singers say up to stage level and whatever else. Because this is very minimal compared to some of the high end fucking industry stages that you see. You got like little mad elaborate stage designs, and some less elaborate but still very, or some less intricate. I mean, but still just as elaborate. So some of the stage designs I love to go off of are Slipknot stage designs, because they change all the time. So probably one of the cooler ones was the "We Are Not Your Kind" stage design. It's got the walkways up to the percussion towers, uh, stuff like that. So, and the way they had everything kind of built up, like a big complex in and of itself. So you can find stuff like that as well, or you can find much more stripped down stuff like this. Um, but this wouldn't really be very stripped down by basic standards. It's fairly common practice to see uh, stages like this kind of anywhere you go, even in some smaller venues, like some of the smaller local venues near me. You'd see setups fairly similar to this. Some of them on stages as big as this, and some of them on stages even smaller than this. The smaller stages, there's pros and cons. Big stages, obviously bigger area, but more ground to cover. Smaller stages, less space, which absolutely sucks. If you've ever played on a tiny stage, you know how much it absolutely sucks. Whether you're a 3 piece, 4 piece, 5 piece, or however many people you got in your band. So I played as a 4 piece, as in a 4 piece band on some very very small stages. But you got to do the best you can with what you got on hand. So